Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Dan, motor scientist. Let's get some fuel. Super. Cheaper than last time. Boop. Boop, boop, done. So, hi everybody, thank you for coming back and watching another video. Reflections from the road. It's been well, I haven't been able to get many videos recently, been pretty busy, but now, back to it. So join me on a wonderful September afternoon, 4:30, and I'm just heading into work. Why, you ask? Oh, good question. I've been invited to dinner with the head of school. So for all new lecturers that start, it seems to be a thing that Professor Hill has implemented. Hi! He invites all new lecturers to dinner. So we're going to Brown's in Bristol, which is a nice place to go, a really nice restaurant. I'm not a new lecturer. I've been doing it for a couple of years, but I've recently achieved an open-ended contract, which is great. Which obviously takes a lot of stress around fixed term. It's a bit of a pain being on a fixed term yearly because you can't plan for the future. And I've always had loads of plans of things I want to teach. So my background is oral microbiology. Hi, I'm on my scooter. My background is oral microbiology, so I was looking at fungi, Candida albicans and oral bacteria, and I teach on the dentistry course now in Bristol, but I've inherited loads of teaching, so not a lot of it is actually my very niche expertise, and I was always very keen to make that more of a thing, that I'm teaching more of my particular area. I can teach what I teach because it's similar stuff, and basic microbiology is basic microbiology. You learn that regardless of your specialty and your expertise that you eventually go into. So yeah, it's never been a problem, but I've always wanted to bring in elements that are not covered in any of the other units that I'm familiar with, because they're all really important techniques. Mycology, so fungi, is generally quite a difficult sell anyway, because it's not a very sexy subject, but I wholeheartedly disagree. It can be a sexy, sciencey subject, but people just don't give it a chance. I think it's a really fascinating area, and we need to focus on mycology in the coming years because antifungal resistance is rising, as well as antimicrobial resistance. So that's when bacteria become resistant to the treatments that we currently have, and it's more difficult to fend off infections. So yeah, it's a big thing with bacteria, but it's also a big thing with fungi. And the difficulty with fungi is that they are eukaryotic cells, so they're actually more similar to human cells than they are bacteria or plants, which means we only have a couple of drug targets because they share so many different cellular components with us that there's a risk that we'll target human cells when we try and fight off the fungi. So big deal anyway, big problem. So I'm trying to portray that to the students and explain that, you know, yeah, it's not just mushrooms that you eat, it's the foundations of our very being, our very existence. Without fungi, we wouldn't have the intricate network of plants that we have. We wouldn't have the food sources that we have. So it's a big thing, big deal, and we need to take more conscious care and action on it. But you tell the students, I'm going to give you a lecture on fungi, and they were like, oh, mushrooms. Yeah, mushrooms is one part of it. Firstly, they're delicious, and there are lots of different types, but secondly, there's so much more than the mushroom. The mushroom is just the fruiting body of the intricate network of mycelia underneath in the ground. You may have seen like angel rings where you get circles, almost like crop circles of fungi, of the mushrooms that we can see, but there's so much more going on underneath than you can see from above. So anyway, on into work, because I've been invited to dinner with the head of school. No idea what this entails, probably just a welcome to the school. A couple of other new lecturers go in, so Dipali, who's joined us as a cancer lecturer, Mazam, who's another microbiologist, really like Mazam, and he's worked with Ruth Massey in the past, who I joined the university working with, so excited to have dinner with him. See if there's some sort of collaboration that we could strike up, maybe for, who knows, student projects which are imminently upon us. Or master's students. I want to have a master's student in the next couple of years of my own doing an MRes, and I've got support from the school to do it. The difficulty is being teaching focused, teaching a scholarship. I don't have a research lab of my own. So I need to find somebody to be a co-supervisor where I can share lab space and their knowledge and expertise and supervision as well. I'm still quite junior in that regard. So if I can find somebody, I can have somebody as a master's student, which will be fab. I'm examining internally, or part of the progress monitoring for a PhD student this year, so I'm getting my foot on the ladder in that regard. And then the plan is to supervise some PhDs, and who knows, Chris and I have finished our project now, where we had students work with us to develop resources to try and negate any anxiety that students were feeling. Really, again, oral presentations, nobody likes to talk in front of people. You just get used to it and you get better at dealing with the stresses and the anxiety that comes with it. But we've got some resources developed by students to help students, and then we ask them to write or to design a poster that we can give out to academics then to really a poster for academics for when we mark and give feedback on what they would actually like to see, because lots of academics just give generalised minimal feedback, which I understand, we're all busy, but also the point of feedback is to help the students, and if we don't give detailed feedback, how are they going to benefit? So as long as we cover the key aspects, it doesn't need to be very much, but it needs to be something, and more than some do. So we shall see, we shall see. Apart from that, I turned 38 yesterday. Woo! Happy birthday to me. So 38. I've never felt so old, and I know that's probably quite disrespectful to some, but 38 sounds much older than 37. And I felt good at 37. I feel good at 38, but it just sounds old. You know, next is 39, and then it's 40. Crazy. Next on my list is to look at the camera. So I would like a second camera here. I have a 360 camera, but I haven't used it. And it does look like it would be suitable for that, but also it's a 360 1X, so it's the first generation, and I know they're on X4 now or something, the fourth generation, and there's probably a huge technology leap, and I just need to use it, but I might just sell it and get another action camera instead. And I've got my sights firmly set currently on the DJI Osmo Action 4, which I'll put a picture of here somewhere, here or here, I don't know, which looks like an absolutely fantastic camera. So the plan is to get that camera, get the DJI Mic 2, which is a wireless mic, and put that in my helmet somewhere, and then have the current GoPro, I've got a GoPro Hero 9, and have that here facing me, so you can see me when I talk, which might be a terrifying concept to some, but I thought it'd be quite useful to do. It's going to take editing to the next level, because it's going to be a bit more tricky to do those both, but yeah, that's the next stage of things, so quite interested to do that. And we've still got some sunlight left, so hopefully we'll be able to get out and have a look at some short routes. It doesn't have to be very much, just get out in the evenings, have a bit of a natter. I was really hoping to get out with my brother, who's Currently got a Tiger 800 XCX low chassis version, which is up for sale. So if you're interested in a Tiger 800 in white, it's got the digital display, not the analog ones. It's a 2016 model, I think. It's one of the first generations to get this TFT screen, so they're not very common. It's actually a fantastic bike, comfortable. Oh my goodness, it's really comfy, and it's a low chassis one. So if you're vertically challenged like I am, and this R1200 GS is a low chassis version, which is the best thing I've ever discovered. Hi! Definitely check it out, because he's a fair weather rider and realistically is not going to be riding now probably the rest of the summer. He doesn't enjoy that bike. He's had loads of other bikes. He's had the Ducati Scrambler. It started with a CB650, which he really liked, and I quite like that bike as well. It's a nice one. But he's currently looking to get rid so that he can get back to his roots and things that he likes. So he's going to be looking at getting a Scrambler style bike again, probably. That's much more him. It suits him a lot better, and then we can get out on more dual rides, which would be quite nice to do. Doggo! Oh, little doggy! Oh, he's so cute. That's true. Hi. So what else has been going on? Now that we're over the motorway, it's pretty boring, to be honest. So we finished student allocations this week. Actually finished student allocations last week, and the students will have been notified this week of who their personal tutor is. It's quite an interesting process, actually. So for those of you that are unfamiliar, when you start university, you get allocated an academic to kind of look after you, welcome you in, and support you through your studies. And so they stay with you for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 if you need it. And we're there to guide you, really, and to be a support and somebody to talk to about issues. So as senior tutor, I help to oversee that process, and I allocate the students to the personal tutors this year. So there are, So there are 60 students joining us on the cellular and molecular medicine course. We have 12 academic tutors for the program, which means we get a nice round 5 students each. So I allocated them based on their support needs. If they've got a study support plan, then they'll go to somebody that is a little bit more empathetic. Then whether they're home or students from abroad, so we try and keep 2 at least together so that they don't feel isolated and they've got some sort of familiarity in the group. Then the same with males. We've actually got a really low ratio of males. It's something like 75-25 in favour of females for this particular course. I think it's slightly higher actually. So we try and keep the males together as well, so again they don't feel overwhelmed being in an all-female group, and they've got somebody that they can relate to. Just familiarity really more than anything, and it works really well. And then we allocate the rest out based on expertise. So people that have expertise in microbiology are more likely to get a microbiology focused student. And we've got 4 degree programs. There's cellular and molecular medicine, which is quite broad, and it encompasses all of the programs, all of the degree titles. We've got cancer biology and immunology. There's virology and immunology, and there's medical microbiology. So we've got people that are experts in different areas, so we give them to tutors that are in their fields, because that's probably going to be more relevant for career support, topic support. So I allocated those last week. They've gone out to students this week, and next week is welcome week. So next week we welcome the students to the university. We've got some social events. There's a program talk where Professor Pullen will introduce the program, set out the expectations of the course so the students know what's coming, and we talk about the tutoring scheme as well, and Chris is going to be there to do that. Hi. And then there's a social event, so there's some refreshments and we get to meet our tutees, and we have a bit of a social gathering with a quiz. Just to break the ice a little bit, really, more than anything. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And then we welcome back our year 2 tutees. So we have again another social event for them with some refreshments and another quiz. And then our year 3 and year 4 tutees we welcome back the following week. And they have a program talk for projects. As they final years get to do a research project in their final last year, well in year 3 they may be MSci students, in which case it's not their final year, they have another one. But year 3 students have projects, research projects, so they'll find out what they've been allocated. So we found out this week, so as an academic I know who my students are going to be. Students don't know that yet, they're going to find out in the next couple of weeks, and they'll get more information about what to expect and how the projects work in their welcome back session. The projects are always good fun. I share supervision in microbiology too. So this year there are 3 of us. We've got Professor Darryl Hill, who's the head of school, who I'm going out with tonight. He's doing it, and Dr. Isabel Murillo and myself have run a project for the last couple of years together that Isabel came up with a few years before, and it's really successful. So it's really easy, go in. Students learn lots of skills, and hopefully they can take that forward into their employment when they go on to that after their degree. Or if they want to do further education, then that's also an option. Master's level, PhD level. Been asked for a couple of references recently for graduate study. So some masters, some postgraduate medical or veterinary medicine specifically, which I completed today. Such a reference to that. Back Emma. So just busy preparing for the new academic year. Hey Carter, radio off. So it is the day after the night before, and what a fantastic night that was. Brown's restaurant in Bristol, wonderful food, great company, good discussions all round, and just a really enjoyable few hours out. I'm sure there are some further discussions that will come from topics that we've discussed, and who knows, hopefully Mason will get a motorbike himself too after our discussions of how fun it is. Mason commutes from Bath, so it would actually be really useful for him. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to update about. Fantastic meal out yesterday. Busy couple of weeks ahead now with welcome week starting next week. Excited to meet the students. Anyway, I will leave you there. Thank you very much for your time and watching the video. Bye. Don't forget to drop us a like and a subscribe, because it helps with the algorithm on YouTube. I know you know this stuff. But I'd love to know, if you went to university, what your first thoughts of welcome week and your first impressions were, and what you think could be improved. Because I bet when I went to university, it was a long time ago, and things have changed quite significantly since then. But it'd be good to know your feedback on that and your thoughts on that. So anyway, thank you very much. I will catch you at the next one. Bye bye.